Craig is off snowshoeing in the wilderness. What do you got, Craig?
Good morning, guys. Once again, we're hanging out today at Mueller State Park talking about their Snowshoe Series. Some cool stuff to know. Great classes to have a good time, exercise too. On the way, more here with Felicia. We'll talk about how to avoid traps.
Right.
When you say traps, that means like different, I guess, hurdles.
Yes, things that are under the snow that you may not see.
Okay, very good. We'll talk more about that coming up next. Hang on.
It only costs $7 to get into Mueller State Park, and once you're there, you can learn how to snowshoe for free.
This morning, Craig Coffey on the trail, learning the ropes and not sinking into the snow. Good morning, Craig.
Thanks a lot. We're hanging out today at Mueller State Park for their Snowshoe Series on this gorgeous snowy morning here in southern Colorado. I'll tell you what, if you have not been to Mueller State Park yet, this is kind of a hidden gem that's so close to home. There's so many great things to do with us right now. This is Felicia. Good morning.
Good morning.
She is a volunteer naturalist, which means you help out. You're part of the Snowshoe Series.
Yes.
You help educate and teach that in class and go on the hikes as well. That's why we're here today, and right now we're talking about kind of how to avoid the traps under the snow, things you might come across on the path, right?
Right, and that's why the poles are so important, because you can't see what's under the snow.
Yeah.
So you might be walking along and you might fall due to something underneath that you didn't see that throws you off balance.
Okay.
So another important part of having the poles is to help you to get up in deep snow from a fall.
Okay, let's bring Joe across here. Let's say Joe's out having a great day, loving life, and all of a sudden he comes across something and he goes down.
Oh, and he's down.
He's down.
So what do you normally do when you want to get up? You usually put your hand down, right?
Yeah.
And in this snow, we can get a lift from that.
Okay.
But there are some times that you're in really, really deep snow and you put your arm down and there's nothing.
Okay.
You're up to your shoulder and you're trying to feel.
Okay.
So what you need to do is use your poles. You put them in an X, you cross them, and that's going to distribute your weight on the snow. So you can either use one hand in the center of that X or two hands on either side to push up.
Okay.
And it distributes your weight so that you don't sink into it.
And then go to your knees.
And then you can go to your knees and then get back up on your, snowshoes. And it's funny because, you know, I learned this technique, I teach it, and I actually used it when I was downhill skiing and I fell.
Okay.
And I was in really deep snow and I'm like, now what am I going to do? You know, you put your arm down, it's a little disconcerting. You're like, oh my.
Yeah, okay.
And that was great. I could use this technique.
You do everything outdoors, don't you? You're like Superwoman.
No, well, no, not
when it comes to the outdoors. Come on, Felicia. Yes, you are.
I like being out.
They love to play outside.
They do.
All right, are there a lot of obstacles that we can come across when we're snowshoeing?
Well, here at Mueller we have nice trails. We've got a great group of trail volunteers that keep our trails nice and clean. But during, you know, winter storms, a branch might come down or something like that.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that you know how to get over those traps in your snowshoes. What you don't want to do, and I'm just going to use this as an example.
Yeah.
You don't want to get a branch on the tip and on the tail.
Okay.
Because what's going to happen? Your weight's in the center, and what's going to happen in the snowshoe?
It's going to bend it.
It's going to bend it or snap it.
Okay. Because these are light.
Yes.
This is like aluminum. Yeah.
Some type of, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, great, fantastic. And what about as far as if you're trying to cross things or get over something?
You want to make sure that you get it right on the toe of your...
Okay.
You want to put that and make sure you have a sure foot before you go over.
Okay.
And use your poles just to, you know...
But you shouldn't really climb stuff when you're out here on a snowshoe. You don't recommend that?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No. But you can use this to climb hills,
okay.
you know.
Well, great stuff to know. On the way, we're going to talk to super duper Joe over here who knows how to get up. We're going to talk to him about survival when you're out here in the backcountry. So that is coming up in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Back to you guys.
Bye.
Yeah, so important to learn about survival in the backcountry with these recent avalanche deaths and everything. So you know it's something fun to do and everything, but have to be safe and prepared.
Yeah, that tip with the poles, man, I didn't know that. So great tip and advice this morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks a lot. Yes, we're here in the high country just west of town, and I'll tell you what, we're at Mueller State Park talking about their Snowshoe Series. On the way, proper preparedness.
That's
right. It's a big deal. Very important. We'll talk to Joe coming up next. Hang on.
Enjoying the outdoors in the high country can come with certain risks.
We know that very well. Knowing how to get prepared can make all of the difference in your safety. Craig Coffey enjoying Mueller State Park this morning, snowshoeing, but it's all about the safety as well. Good morning, Craig.
Kimberly and Justin, thank you so much. Yes, we were on the trail. We found a nice spot to kind of just relax. We're making good time, by the way.
We are.
Today,
definitely.
right? Yes, we are.
Absolutely.
This is Joe here at Mueller State Park. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And we're talking about their Snowshoe Series. Pretty cool. For more information, you can go to the Mueller State Park website or call the Visitor Center and get all the dates and times for their next Snowshoe Series that anyone can do.
Anyone can do.
It's a lot of fun, great exercise, but being prepared is kind of a big deal.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, Craig, we are in the high country.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're at 9,700 feet here, basically. So altitude, even people coming from the Springs,
Sure.
that's several thousand feet higher than they're used to. It tends to be 10 to 15 degrees colder here than it is down in the Springs.
Yeah.
And so people might sometimes come and not be quite prepared.
Okay. So what are some things we should, you have a whole table here full of stuff for us.
Well, I have a table full of things, and these aren't necessarily things you have to take with you.
Okay.
I would say the one most important thing you want to take with you is water.
Stay
okay?
hydrated.
You need to stay hydrated. One of the other thing is to have a little bit of protein, maybe some nuts or power bars, something like that, and of course layers of clothes. We have synthetic clothing to wick away the moisture.
Sure.
Then we have a second layer that traps in the heat, and then we have a layer to cover ourselves from the snow, wind, rain,
Okay.
that sort of thing.
Okay.
Staying warm is very important because hypothermia is one of the biggest problems we have here in the winter.
Interesting. Okay. And by the way, getting back to hydration, nobody realizes you expend so much energy out here. And when the altitude really gets you dehydrated faster than when you're at a lower level.
Absolutely.
Doesn't it?
Your expelling is much drier with the altitude, so you're breathing harder,
Okay.
and you lose a lot of moisture through the breathing process. One of the things that I tell people here is what goes down must come up, because every one of our trails starts at a high ridge.
Okay.
So you start by hiking down, and then you have to climb up to get yourself out.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about probably, I guess, safety and maybe some survival too. You've got some trackers here as well.
We do. When you're in the backcountry, not necessarily here at Mueller, but when
Yeah.
you go into the backcountry, one of the important, big issues we have is avalanches. So carrying a beacon with you
Okay.
is very important. Everyone in the party should have one. If you were to be trapped in an avalanche, it's much quicker to find someone and be rescued. It's important to have a shovel with, and then a avalanche probe.
Sure.
It's important to find the person.
Okay, now as far as the Snowshoe Series goes, you have to have your own snowshoes to come and do this.
That's
But
correct.
you can rent anywhere.
Yes.
There's a few places you recommend.
There's several places in Woodland Park and also in the Springs.
Okay.
It's great to rent and try out different styles and
Okay.
see what works for you before you actually purchase.
Interesting. And also, I imagine, don't do this alone.
No, it's great to have a buddy with you. We talked about traps today,
Yeah.
and sometimes you might find yourself in a trap and you can't get out, and that's where buddies
Okay.
are very handy. It's also important to let somebody know that if you are going out, even as a group,
Yeah.
to let someone know where you're going to be
Okay.
and when you're coming back.
Interesting. Hey, it's all part of the Snowshoe Series. A lot of fun and good exercise. Something great for couples, I guess, to come out and do this as well, friends. And come out, get involved. It's right here in your backyard.
Absolutely.
It doesn't get easier, and it doesn't get actually more beautiful than this. That's it for now. Back to you guys in studio.